For 2 summers, I interned with Cross Missions, which is an outreach program through Myers Park Presbyterian Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. I recently sat down with the current Cross directors to talk to them about the program, how the coronavirus will affect their future, and Charlotte as a whole.
My name is Erika Funk, and I'm the director of Cross Missions in Charlotte, North Carolina.
My name is Genie Richards, and I'm the assistant of Cross Missions and also the local mission coordinator.
Cross Missions celebrated its 20th anniversary last year. It was started out of Myers Park Presbyterian Church to be a program for church youth groups and young adults to find a place to serve and deepen their discipleship by working with and for nonprofits in Charlotte.
We work with a whole lot of different populations, things from homelessness to substance abuse to food insecurity, educational gaps, healthcare reform, sustainable living.
Immigration.
Yeah, immigration. Really, we run the gamut. Affordable housing, a lot of things.
And one of our goals is to help young people understand how these agencies and the people that they serve are part of a system. That affordable housing is related to a living wage, which is related to public education, which is related to formerly incarcerated people and addictions, and that working for the end of poverty and suffering isn't just a one angle goal. You have to hit at all these things to try to lift everybody up and out of poverty, and to also to understand that it is a system, and that when you have a system at work, there are many people involved in that system, and it isn't just about providing a meal or providing shelter. It's providing for the whole person, which then lifts up the entire community. So our groups, when they come, are staying here. We provide them the rooms and places to sleep and food and meals, and then they go out into all these places. So that is about every COVID risk that there is. Basically, it came down to the risk it would put the participants at, in addition to the risk it would be for our partners, who for the most part are a very vulnerable population or people who are serving the most vulnerable population. And the reality is, unfortunately, in our country that resources for wellness, particularly for COVID, are not equal for all communities. And so it was not worth adding to the problem. And so we made the decision at the end of April to essentially cancel our entire summer program, which was 9 weeks of around hosting 500 people. So it was a tough choice. I didn't have any regrets about it at the time, and obviously I still don't. So then we had to pivot to some other priorities and what our work was going to be, which then was very different.
We put together a curriculum where we really try to teach youth like how these sites are affected. For example, we work with Urban Ministry Center and Men's Shelter. They're now combined and called Roof Above, and they have rented out 3 or 4 motels and temporary permanent housing sites to house maybe 300 some.
That sounds right.
300 some residents in Charlotte that were formerly housing insecure. So that's one good thing that's come from it. But then from a volunteer perspective, they still need people to serve the meals and to make sure that their laundry is done and to still serve these neighbors in a way that's dignifying. And so our partners have been very creative trying to find ways to do what is best for their clients and keep everyone safe in the process. The virus has really completely changed, I would say, youth mission for the next couple years. What families are comfortable letting their children go out and do, how service will be impacted. Likely we won't have a vaccine, and we've already heard from several groups that they're waiting for a vaccine before they do a trip out of state or international trip. So that could definitely affect our numbers. Other youth programs are shortening their summer. So some, instead of doing 9 weeks, will do 6 weeks. So there's several different factors that COVID is impacting.
We had 7 staff people hired, 7 interns hired for the summer that we had to hire and then let go.
That was
so that
so
was an impact
sad.
on them. Yeah, that was really sad because they're awesome.
The interns are the best, especially because our relationships with them typically last way longer than just a summer, which is always nice to see them grow and develop professionally and personally, and it's really wonderful. My personal favorite part about Cross is definitely our relationships with the ministry partners. It always just blows my mind to see what our partners can accomplish and how they're able to pivot and think creatively and really identify and serve the core need of whatever population it is that they're working with. Charlotte is unique in North Carolina because a lot of people come from outside of the city limits to Charlotte to receive the services that we have. And I just think that speaks to the quality and to the commitment of our ministry partners to really do everything they can, no matter what, no matter viruses, weather, anything, to serve the people they're committed to.
Yeah.
We have the best interns. We have the best food. We have the best energizers, the best evening worship. I mean,
we know this because we've looked at everybody else's, and we know
Yes.
ours is the best.
absolutely the best.
There are, guidelines for that, and we pass A+ every time.
It's true.
All the organizations that do this kind of work are obviously very passionate about what they do. And like others, we are really striving to make this more than a 5-day experience, that this goes way beyond the trip, that this is a life of discipleship, a way of living, and we really want to help young people, whether they're middle schoolers or college-aged, find what they're passionate about and to use that passion and their gifts to be change makers in the world. It's a great experience, a great mission trip for middle schoolers. There's not a lot of organizations that will take middle schoolers, but we do. Even your rising 6th graders.